Hello guys, you're watching T7W and I'm back with a new video, and I have got here the OnePlus One, the smartphone which is very hard to get hands on. Let's get into it. The OnePlus One is the most hyped up handset ever to come from a brand that most people have never heard of. Just over 2 years ago, OnePlus One as a company didn't even exist. There's no denying that the amazing value of OnePlus One with the starting price of merely $300 for hardware that can genuinely compete with the Galaxy S5 and Nexus 5. With the caveat in place, let's take a closer look. OnePlus One claims its own style is by using a very unusual rear finish. We used the black 64GB version and it has an oddly, deliberately rough soft touch finish. It's like a cross between sandpaper and felt. That may sound terrible, but it's very tactile surface that makes the phone feel that bit more substantial than a lot of other phones. The OnePlus One also comes in white color, but only its lesser 16GB storage edition. OnePlus is a Chinese company and China is famous for borrowing designs from other better known phones. But the OnePlus One successfully creates its own look and feel, and one that compares fairly well with all the other top end phones. The design is deliberately simple too. A micro SIM tray sits near invisibly on the phone side, and as the volume and power buttons are similar color to OnePlus One's back, they effectively hidden when viewed from any distance. Even the OnePlus One logo is remarkably small, especially given that building a brand is OnePlus' number one priority at this point in its sub 1 year existence. Clear design thought has gone into OnePlus One. It's not as stunning as the HTC One M8, but for a first effort from a small company, it's quite an achievement. This picture tells you a little more about quite how big the OnePlus is. While the LG G3 has the same size screen, the OnePlus One is still significantly bigger as it does not have the super slim screen surround of LG's latest. The OnePlus One has a very large 5.5-inch 1080p screen. Out of 2014's true flagships, only the LG G3 matches it in terms of screen inches. LG's G3 batters it in resolution too. It has a QHD screen, whereas the OnePlus One is just 1080p. However, the phone displays impressively sharp, anyone complaining about a pixel density of 401 ppi when the laptop may offer under 150 ppi. Such a large, sharp screen is great for web browsing, watching videos and playing games. The only real downside about the size is that you need to get two thumbs involved to browse or type remotely fast. Actual screen quality is very good. The OnePlus One uses an IPS LCD screen, the same kind used by the iPhone 6 and Sony Xperia Z3. Viewing angles are strong for an LCD, top brightness is good, and as with all good top-end screens, the display has the appearance of being right on the surface of the screen. The OnePlus One runs Android 4.4.2 KitKat out of the box, but now you can upgrade to Android L, which is the latest version of the Google OS. However, the phone does not use a completely standard version of the system or simple skinned version like the Galaxy S5 and Sony Xperia Z2. It has a rather different interface known as CyanogenMod. CyanogenMod is a version of Android designed to add features and customization missing from the totally vanilla edition. For the average phone buyer, the key benefit of the CyanogenMod is native support for themes. These are actually downloaded from Google Play, but the OnePlus has a theme browser app pre-installed to let you check them out. These themes alter things like app icons, the wallpaper, system fonts, animations, and the lock screen. They effectively reskin your OnePlus without any of the performance hit that often comes with third-party versions of Android. Good general performance is no surprise though, as the OnePlus One is a seriously powerful phone. It uses the 2.5 GHz version of the Snapdragon 801 CPU, same quad-core chipset used by the S5. To see such a high-end processor in a phone that starts at just $300 is a real eye-opener. It even has something over the Galaxy S5 too, 3 GB of RAM. While we not have found a particularly marked difference in the performance between phones with 2 GB and 3 GB RAMs, it should help you out when you're a little low on internal memory and have a whole bunch of apps installed, performing occasional process is in the background. While many people say that Android phones are overpowered these days, there are benefits to having a big name CPU and GPU combo in your phone. We performed the Antutu benchmark test on the OnePlus One and we got the score of 43,254, which is equivalent to that of HTC One M8 and a little bit higher than that of Galaxy S5, which impressed me a lot. Gaming performance is very good. We run some high-end graphic games like Asphalt 8 and Injustice Among Gods, which seems to perform superbly well without any distortion of some kind. Unless a game has been poorly optimized, it will run more or less perfectly on the OnePlus One. The OnePlus One is one of the top performing phones of 2014. One area where the specs of OnePlus One seem to fall behind the top phones is its camera. It has a 13 megapixel sensor where the Galaxy S5 has a 16 megapixel and the Sony Xperia Z2 has a 20.7 megapixel. Specs are not everything, but the Galaxy S5 does manage to comfortably outperform the OnePlus One with greater detail and sharpness. However, dynamic range is good in its class, and while there is some minor purple fringing in areas of highlight contrast, it's nowhere near as bad as it is with the HTC One M8 camera. It has a 5 megapixel front facing camera which takes decent photos. For video it shoots at 4K and the video quality is pretty good actually. The OnePlus One has a 3100 mAh battery, but it's locked in the phone. You can't access it until you rip the phone apart. However, the battery performance is impressive, no doubt helped by the battery capacity that is up there with the most generous mobiles. This is a pretty normal moderate day use from 4 pm to 4 pm. Note how the OnePlus One barely loses any charge overnight, and that is total the 24-hour period only saw the phone drain by around 55%. We comfortably got a day and a half and change out of charge without any battery saving modes. And that's a good thing because there isn't one. Where all the big name phones have multiple battery saving modes that let you squeeze as much as 24 hours out of the last fraction of battery by making the display monochrome, that is black and white, shutting off standby mobile data and limiting access to apps. The OnePlus One has nothing. You can get much of the battery saving effect by switching off mobile data, but having the option to have it automatically switch off would be nice. The OnePlus One's speakers look an awful lot like those of the Nexus 5 from outside. There are two little sets of dotty grills cut into the bottom edge of the phone. While two speakers aren't necessarily better than the one, the dual driver array does help to give the one very strong top volume. You don't really get any sense of stereo though, as the speaker are about 5 cm apart and fire in the same direction. You might as well consider this a particularly loud mono speaker. The tone of the speaker isn't as good as the boom sound speakers of the HTC One M8 either. Without a speaker enclosure in which the sound can amplify itself a bit, output is a bit thin sounding. While the internal speaker of the OnePlus One is quite loud, the call speaker isn't. It is quite clear with good treble detailing without sounding too harsh. As is now the standard in most phones, there is a secondary microphone on the back to provide noise cancellation during calls, so that's good. The bottom line is the OnePlus One is not a perfect phone, but it competes with the phones that are twice of its price with the likes of HTC One M8, the Galaxy S5 and the Sony Xperia Z2. And it's still OnePlus One managed to create its own identity to boot. You can conclude that OnePlus One has done a very good job, and for that reason it's one of the best phones of 2014.
Hello guys, this is Uday.
And this is Kushagran, and that was the OnePlus One review, the flagship killer smartphone of 2014 and one of the best smartphones of 2014 if you can get your hands on it, and at a very low price of $350. And thanks to Uday for providing me the smartphone OnePlus One, for reviewing it and showing it to you guys. Thumbs up the video, it is very much appreciated, and subscribe to the channel down below if you're not a subscriber yet. Also follow me and Uday on Instagram, the links are down below. And as always, thanks for watching guys, and see you in the next one. Peace.
Hi guys. Sorry, क्या कर रहा है?